Hi everyone. I am doing a workshop on how to understand financial aid. I do want to reiterate that this is very broad information and that everyone's situation is different. And some of the things that I am going to talk about might or might not apply to each one of you all. So just keep that in mind when you are looking through these slides. So let's go ahead and begin and start talking about financial aid. So there are four types of financial aid. There's grants, scholarships, work studies, and loans. The first three in the list are money that is given to you and you do not have to pay back. The one, um, the last one is money that you are borrowing, um, whether that be from the government or a private institution. This money you do have to pay it back. So that is the key difference between the first three and the last one. Before I go into the different types of financial aid, I want to talk about FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, otherwise known as FAFSA, is a form that is a way for you to get financial aid from the federal government in order for you to pay for your education expenses. It is also how many schools gather information in order for them to give you other types of financial aid, like grants. I have listed the steps on how to apply for FAFSA, and an important thing to remember is if your parents don't file taxes, they will be requested by financial aid to fill out additional forms. You will need to turn all these forms you need to turn in all of these forms in order for them to verify that your parents don't file taxes. Some other important reminders about FAFSA is one, you have to complete it each year. The sooner you do it, the better it is for you because um, it's like a pile of money that it goes by first come, first serve. And then again, it is better for you to do it before March 1st because that's like the big deadline for everyone. And remember that you do not have to sign up for a new account each year. All you have to do is sign in and renew your application. Make sure you write down all your information as accurate as you can. And if your parents do not have a social security card, you are still able to fill out this form. All you have to do is when they ask for your parents' social security number, you just have to put in all zeros and do not put the IT number. That is a big key. Do not do that. Once you do that, you can fill out the rest of the form with all the information that is needed. And at the end, instead of having your parents electronically sign it, you will have to print it out and mail it in. The faster you um, print it out and mail it in, the faster they will process it. So it's better for you to print it out and mail it as soon as possible. So I also put the MSU financial aid website because there you are able to see what taxes you need to use for that year of the FAFSA. For example, like this year, 2018, 2019, the academic year, we have to use our 2016 tax information. So here it is. And again, like right here is the information where you need what financial aid you need, and you are also able to see the forms and what you need here, as you all could see. After you fill up your FAFSA application, you are then giving the results to see if you are qualified for the Pell Grant. And if you are, it will let you know the amount of how much you are qualified. The amount you receive is different for each student because it depends on your financial need, the cost of of attendance, or if you are a full-time or part-time student. An important note on the federal Pell Grant is that you can only receive up to 600% of the Pell Grant, which means that it's only about 6 years. It is important to keep that in mind in case you add any majors or minors or make any changes in your graduation plan. Let me give you all an example of what I mean you can only receive 600% of the federal Pell Grant. This example on the screen is on how to calculate the percentage of the Pell Grant and how it is being added each year. There are 3 different students, but I'm only going to focus on student A. Student A was awarded 5,550 of Pell Grant and used only 2,775 their first year, which means that they only used 50% of their Pell Grant. In the next 3 years, they used all of their Pell Grant each year, which added up 100% each year. Overall, this student used 350% of their Pell Grant out of 600, and that means that basically they had leftover money FAFSA, but in reality, you really don't need to use it all. Something else about the Pell Grant is that you cannot use it for graduate school, so it would only be working for your undergrad. If you want to know how much of your Pell Grant you have been using or you've used in the past few years, make sure you log in the link I provided and sign in using the login information for your FAFSA, and it will let you know. It will also let you know how much loans you have and the types of loan and the interest and how much you owe in each of your loan. So I provided a link in order for you all to see the FAFSA information. So right here you could see, you could do the log information and your password, and that's all you would need. The COF, or known as College Opportunity Fund, is a stipend from Colorado which is given to undergraduate students who are enrolled at a public university or college, and if they are classified as in-state students for tuition, they are allowed to get this. So you do not have to be just a high school graduate from Colorado. School. Each semester you are giving money from them, and it can be different each semester depending on how many credits you are enrolled in. This also depends if you are going to a private institution or a public institution. In this case, because you are in a public institution, you get $77 per credit hour. And like as seen as an example, if you take 15 credits, you will receive 1,155, and again, that's one semester. You do not have to be a full-time student to receive this grant. It all depends on how many credits you are taking. The overall limit is 145 credits, so it's not like, oh, you have 6 years with it. No, so overall you could only take 145 credits, and then after that they won't give you any more. If you end up transferring to another college outside of Colorado, you will no longer receive this. But if you transfer from, let's say, from Metro to CSU in Fort Collins, then you will be given, you still will be given this Colorado or College Opportunity Fund. So I also provided a link for how the COF website looks like. And so when you log in, like I said, you all have to do is log in, and it will take you to see what exactly you will need to see. And so up in the right side corner, you could see the login information. And these are other questions that you could have. If you have any questions, you can look through it, and it will most likely answer all your questions. So, scholarships are free money that you get and you do not have to pay back. And majority of the time, in order for you to get a scholarship, you must apply for them. There are many scholarships that are national, regional, for the state, or for just your university. For MSU, there is the general application, and there is a specific website for that, and I have listed it right there. And when you sign in, this website automatically filters all the scholarships that you are. So as you all could see right here, this is where you would go to sign in that first page that I was in. Um, that is all the scholarships. But once you log in, you will be able to get the scholarships that are just for you. So the next slide is on the financial aid specifically for work study. Work study is a way for you to work for money and be able to use it to pay for school or for um, rent or even your supplies. The way you will be receiving this money is like if you were working. So it is like you will be paying either weekly or bi-weekly. It all depends on like how the system is. And if you are awarded work study, that money that you will get will be given to your employer so they can pay you. Work study overall is a job. You work certain hours, and it is important to know that your work study position is not a place where you can just go and study. You have to do the job requirements first, and then if you're able to and have extra time, then you are able to study. Uh, in MSU, there are three types of work study. There's federal based, Colorado need based, and Colorado no need work study. I want to go ahead and begin and start saying that these are not all of the requirements for each category. These are just some of the ones that I put that I thought were really important. So for all of these three different work studies, MSU does require you to fill out a work study form, which I put it under WK19 and it is linked below. If you all go through that link, you will get the form that you need to fill out, and it is necessary for you to fill that out every year. And again, like I said before, it is for all three of the different work studies. So, for all of these three different work studies, MSU does require you to fill out a work study form, which I put it under WK19 and it is linked below. If you all go through that link, you will get the form that you need to fill out, and it is necessary for you to fill that out every year. And again, like I said before, it is for all three of the different work studies. If you are looking for a job, you could visit the website where you are able to find different job opportunities that there are around campus, and you could see that in the link. So let me go ahead and show you all. This is the employment opportunities, and you all can see there's a lot right there. And then the first link is the work study, what is work study, and all the rules are right there, all the regulations and all the different types. So you could check that out and see if you have any questions or if you want to check it out more in detail. Federal loans are something that you might think that is a scary option, because it is the option where you are borrowing money and you do have to pay them back. Loans might seem scary, but it's not a bad thing. These are meant to help you pay for your education, but you do have to remember to use them wisely. So don't just spend them to spend them. So let's begin. First of all, there are two types of loans. There are the direct subsidized loans and the direct unsubsidized loans. If you have to get loans, the first you should get is a subsidized loan. These loans are for undergraduate students with financial need. And with this loan in particular, the Department of Education pays for your interest while you are in school and 6 months after you leave school. If you have to like leave school, you do get that 6 month period for you to pay off your loans. Or also, if you graduate 6 months after you graduate, the Department of Education still pays for your interest. Remember that, like the Pell Grant, you are only allowed to get direct subsidized loans for 6 years only. On the other hand, there's the direct unsubsidized loans. These loans are available for undergraduate students and graduate students, and you do not have to be or have financial need to get these loans. Anyone could get them. The big difference with this loan is that you do have to pay interest rate, which means that you start accumulating um, interest right away. So while you're in school and after you leave, you're still accumulating interest, and this you this one you should is recommended to start paying right away, just because if or at least paying the interest rate each month, so you won't have to pay a lot more when you're done with school or anything like that. And you could start paying these loans monthly, and this counts for both of the different loans. You could start paying them right away if you want to, or you could wait until you graduate. It all depends on like what you feel is necessary for you. I have also put a link on the bottom, the NSLDS, which is a website where they allow you to check how much loans you have gotten and how much interest rate you have accumulated. And the login information for this website is exactly the same as your FAFSA information. So if you do not know how to navigate the website, MSU has a very good explanation on how to use it. And that's why I provided both links for both MSU and for the NSLDS. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all what it looks like, the website. So the first one is the NSLDS. You click on the first link, then you put accept, and then this is exactly where you're going to do your login information. Then this right here is the explanation that MSU has. So you can go ahead and look, and it'll show you step by step on like what to do. So in the next couple of slides, we are going to talk about financial aid holds. These are some of the ones that MSU has provided in their website on what codes they have and the reasons why you have them and the resolutions for each of the holds that you may or may not have. So you can look through these and then see if you have a holding your financial aid and you want to see like what they mean, you could go ahead and look this up. I organize them by the first two um, like slides are on financial aid holds that do require action. So it has to do some type of form, like turning in a form or making some changes to the form. And I would recommend you to check first if you have a financial aid hold, and if you do have one, turn it in as soon as possible. Like if you are required to do something, turn it in ASAP, because this could help you register for classes and be able to get your financial aid on time, and the process will work a lot faster. This slide is on financial aid holds that do not require you to do no action. So these are financial aid holds that you should still know about, but obviously you won't have to do anything about that. And it's more on the financial aid office to do more about it, like what they have to do in order. So you don't have to panic that you have to do something or not. You could just go ahead and look at them and see like, oh, you have this, and that's what they have to do.
With that being said, I do want to remind you all that throughout the semester, there are financial aid assistants in the office of financial aid or in our TRIO office. The assistant can be on FAFSA, loans, scholarships, or holds. And if you want to meet with your SS advisor to talk about your financial aid packet and more specifically have more questions that they can answer, please make sure to set up an appointment with us and they'll be gladly to help you out. And here is a password needed for you to take the quiz. Please make sure to complete the quiz in order to receive credit for this workshop.